Champions League versus Force FC. They're out of Trinidad and Tobago. So I don't really take a lot away from the opponent necessarily that they beat. However, seeing him do what he did in just his first game with the side was outstanding. And obviously we saw what he did with the U-17s with the United States. You made that video about him doing a Panenka in the
Oh yeah, that was a
U-17
popular video.
World Cup. It was a very popular video, but the kid is special, and he's got a lot of tools that he brings with him. And I think it's just kind of reinforcing what we've come to understand about this iteration of the younger side of the U.S. men's national team, the 17s, the 18s, the 19s, yeah, even the 20s. We talked about Noah Kai Banks a little bit, but, Cavan Sullivan, just 17 years old and doing what he did yesterday. Again, probably a weaker side playing against them, but still, you can't
He's
turn
16.
your head at 2 goals
still
and 2
grown
assists.
man.
He's 16. Oh, 16. Okay. I thought he was 17. So he ain't even 17.
He was in the U-17s, but I'm pretty sure he's still 16.
Wow. Yeah. No, impressive nonetheless, as I was saying. He's still very impressive for him.
Yeah, 2 goals, 2 assists. I mean, you're right. It's not the the team that you'd like him to do it against. You'd probably like him to do it against a Man City of the world or an Inter Miami's of the world for sure. But at the same time, I mean, he's 16. He's playing against grown men.
Yeah.
I can't really hate on it because he's 16 years old and he's doing this against grown men. But 2 goals, 2 assists for the first team in Philadelphia. Now I think the next step for him is hopefully he can break into the Philadelphia Union side before he is 18. Because I know he does. I think he has the contract clause or a clause in his contract or something like that, where he goes to Man City at the age of 18. Like that's already agreed upon. Don't know how accurate that all is going to be, but no, it's great to see for Cavan Sullivan. I won't make a video on that because people were hating on me for glazing a 16-year-old. But look, man, he did a Panenka. That's in a U-17 World Cup, to do it in any type of a World Cup environment. That's ballsy. But no, he looked good. In the couple videos, long form videos I watched, he looked fine. He looked comfortable more than anything. But I mean, I just hope that in this upcoming Philadelphia season, that maybe he can get some more run in with the first team in the MLS, or whether that's the U.S. Open Cup or in the CONCACAF Champions League, how far they go.
And I think ballsy is probably the best word that you could have used to describe how he plays, because I think that's a perfect example of who the kid is. I think he is ballsy. I think he does stick his nose in there. And I think in listening to some of the interviews that he did, especially during that U-17 World Cup, you talk about the mentality of the younger players in the U.S., like the groups, from where he is at 16 all the way up to 20 years old, like that kind of window, that class, if you will. The one thing that I think makes them a little bit different is that exactly, like they're more stylistic on the ball. They are more confident. They are more ballsy. They're more forward. They're more in your face. And obviously, with him getting to play, I think, with his older brother, for Philadelphia Union senior side and Quinn Sullivan, I think is a great opportunity. But there's still yet a lot to be seen. And I think the biggest thing that I like his attitude. I like the way that he leads. I like the mentality of this younger group, and you can't really convince them that they don't belong. They're too young to really get through to them about the history and what's happened with U.S. men's national team soccer. I don't really think they care, frankly, and I think that's the part that makes me the most excited, is they just don't get caught up in all of that. But the physical development side of Cavan Sullivan, is going to be something that we have to obviously pay close attention to. And is there burnout? You talked about the prevalence now of burnout because of how many games that these kids are playing. You even look at someone like Lamine Yamal. I mean, does he actually develop into the type of bona fide superstar that I believe the soccer/football world believes he can be? I think so. I mean, I know he kind of flubbed the one, his most recent PK, but the kid is special. But does he burn out from the physical demands and the physical toll of the sport that he's playing? And everyone kind of realizing here in the U.S. that he's, after this, current crop that's going through the World Cup, I feel like he's kind of the, he's one of the chosen ones for the next up group. And obviously it's cool for Philadelphia Union to put him out there, because again, it shows that they're able to develop well. I mean, we just talked to Alan McCann the other day, who was a part of, their who was in Philly for the longest time. And obviously, knows about the culture and just how deep it is there. But Cavan Sullivan is a very talented player, but does he burn out through all of this? And so nice to see. Good start for the kid this year. I want to see more from him. I like the way he plays. I like the confidence, almost like the arrogance, an air of arrogance a little bit. But does it end up being too much for him at the end?
No, I think that's a fair point to say. I'm sorry about that. The
No,
only difference I would say is with, again, we are not comparing Cavan Sullivan to Lamine Yamal for the European user. Not doing that. Those two are in different stratospheres right now. We're not doing that. Okay. But if I'm looking at Cavan Sullivan and a Lamine Yamal, maybe in 10 years. Potentially, maybe we could, if he gets to that level. I mean, Lamine Yamal Barcelona just rejected a £250 million bid for him. The only reason that I say Lamine Yamal, I think, will burn out at a younger age is because of how much he's playing at the age of 16 right now. He's playing week in, week out with Barcelona. He's playing in La Liga. He's playing in Copa del Rey. He's playing in the Champions League. And then guess what? He is one of the main starters for the Spanish side. And at 16, that isn't normal. Like, I don't think people realize how that's not normal for Lamine Yamal to be doing that at such a young age. That's why I say that maybe in 8 years or so that he might burn out. I understand the technology in this, and the nutrition in this, and the fitness in this. I understand that. It is the best it's ever been. But at the same time, the body will respond to certain things, certain ways, and it might break down in certain moments. But Lamine Yamal is an unbelievable guy. For Sullivan, on the other hand, he's not playing with the U.S. men's national team at 16. He's not. He's not playing with the first team in Philadelphia Union right now. He's not. So he's not he's training probably every single day or damn near every single day. But at the same time, he's not playing the amount of games. He's not playing the amount of, he's not having the amount of travel that a guy like Lamine Yamal is doing.
Yeah,
or
that's fair.
Or a guy like my boy Max Dowman at Arsenal. It's really about it. But no, outside of that, I don't think Sullivan's going to burn out as quickly as maybe people are expecting because he's not playing as much. Now, if he starts playing week in, week out with Philadelphia Union, maybe we have that conversation. Maybe, but not right now. We don't.
You don't think he becomes an everyday guy? If he continues to produce like this, I know it's a team from Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know anything about Force FC, but I can see him being an everyday guy at some point.
He's got to do it against the MLS side. He's got to do it against the MLS sides. He's got to do it against the USL sides. Yeah, it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like, not taking anything away from the kid, but to be a mainstay in a team like a Philadelphia Union in a top flight in America, which some people might not say is a lot, but the MLS is an emerging league. I would say you've got to be doing it in the first team, week in, week out, in the MLS against MLS sides, and then and then obviously in like U.S. Open Cup, because that's how these youngsters get in. And you also got to train really well against the first team time and time again. Great start, I would say, to the season for Sullivan. Great start for him to do that. Hopefully that gets his confidence going. But he's going to have to do a lot more against a lot better sides than against Force FC. No disrespect to Force FC, but if he did this against an Inter Miami or a LAFC, I'd take a little bit more stock in it.
Yeah, just a little bit. And so, it will yet to be seen. I just know that, obviously we chatted a lot about him in the U-17s before that team ultimately flamed out in that tournament against, who is it again that just continues to beat us every time we face them? Morocco, there it is. Yeah, the nightmare of having to play that team. So, but yeah, there's just a lot to like about him. And again, he's just one of a crop of players, but I think he has just been the one that's kind of been grabbing a lot of the headlines for that younger group. But moving into our final topic here in the soccer portion of our conversation, I know we've bled past 10 o'clock a little bit here, but we are going to get to our all sports talk. Major League Soccer looking for a new commissioner. I know we were mentioning this a little bit briefly before we came into the show, but they are hiring a search firm to find a new commissioner with Don Garber's term set to end in 2027. Garber has been with Major League Soccer since 1999, so literally since just before the turn of the century. 19, yeah, I know. Cue the dinosaurs, right? The Jurassic Park music.
That's like damn near the whole MLS existence, is it not?
I love when people ask me when I was born, and I start with a 19, and they're like, "Oh yeah,
That's
not
my
good.
reaction,
You're
Nate, to
old,
you every
man.
time you're like, "Yeah, I was
You're
born in
old,
19."
man.
Damn. It's like
My
what was
body
it?
hurts."
Kevin Hart in the one interview with he was in
Damn.
Marvel. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm 50 or something." Kevin Hart goes, "Damn." Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry.
I
That's how I feel.
remember that. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, yeah, my body's starting to hurt in different ways than I expected, but it is what it is, man. That's life. It happens. You'll get there here too,
I hope
So
not.
maybe we'll have a special celebration. My birthday does fall during the week, so maybe we can have a dirty 30 celebration on Inside the Game. How about that?
When is it?
You down for a dirty 30? August 20th.
Sure, let's do it.
So we're in August. So I mean, if we're still rolling at that point, let's do it. But let's
I got
get into
like 2 weeks until mine. So